Welcome to the eBook Publishing Boot Camp, our 5th annual book marketing conference online. I'm your host and event founder, Devorah Lansky. In this series, you have access to hands-on workshops where you can take action and apply what you've learned. Our speakers today are Shelley Hitz and Heather Hart, and I'd like to introduce you to them and tell you about our session today. Shelley is an award-winning and internationally best-selling author. She is also the founder of self-publishing-coach.com and consultant to individuals, organizations, and small businesses who want to multiply their impact through self-publishing. And she teaches from personal experience. She has been writing and publishing books since 2008 and has published over 30 books, including print, ebook, and audiobook formats. Authors can sign up for her newsletter to download Shelley's free ebook templates and her PDF report called 200+ Book Marketing Author Tools. You can go to self-publishing-coach.com/newsletter.html. Heather Hart is a book marketing expert, internationally best-selling author, and Shelley's assistant at self-publishing-coach.com. With the heart of an author, Heather enjoys working from home where she spends her days typing away at her computer, brainstorming new marketing ideas, and encouraging those around her. Her desire is to help others successfully publish and market their books while continuing to author, contribute to, and market multiple book marketing and faith-based books herself. And, of course, have fun doing it. You can find out more about Heather by visiting her website at www.authorshart, that's H-A-R-T, authorshart.com. Today, Shelley and Heather are going to be talking to us about successful book launch strategies. Welcome, Shelley and Heather.
Thank you, Devorah. It's great to be here.
Well, we're excited that you are here. Hello, Heather.
Hello. It's good to be here.
Well, I am going to hand the mic over to you because you two know a lot about successful book launch strategies with all the books that you have out there, with the way that you help authors, and the way that you put steps in place so that others can follow in your footsteps. And so I so appreciate you being willing to share these secrets with us today.
Oh, you're very welcome. We're glad to do it.
Well, without further ado, I'll hand you the mic.
Thank you so much. We're going to start off this presentation. I'm Shelley Hitz, and Heather and I work very closely together. We are a team, and we have not only written multiple books together, but we've also done multiple book launches together. So we're going to be presenting today together, and we're going to go back and forth at times and share some of our experiences and some of the things that we have learned from doing the book launches that we have done through the years. So I'm going to start off, why should you have a book launch? Well, there's a lot of talk about book launches in the book marketing community. You will hear a lot about different types of book launches, how to launch your book. Once you've written a book, it's kind of like you've given birth to this book. The writing process is that, I like to give the analogy of like a woman, that's pregnant, and she has 9 months of that pregnancy, and she gives birth to that baby, but that's just the beginning of her parenting process. And when you give birth to a book, it's just the beginning of the marketing process. And one of the first things that you can do when you, quote unquote, give birth to your book is consider doing a book launch. But why would you consider that? Well, honestly, Heather and I work with a lot of authors, and it's surprising that many authors don't actually launch their books. They publish them, and just kind of wait for the sales to come in, or they do a few things here and there, but maybe don't have an official launch. And, while it's true that book launches aren't required for, for any kind of, book that's published, there are some key reasons that you should consider a book launch for your book. So I'm going to go through those reasons here right now. And the first one, you have put all your hard work into this book. You have, all that sweat equity and that time that you have put into it. And so why not benefit from the instant book sales that you get with a book launch? When you put your time and energy into doing a book launch, there is no guarantee of, how many sales you will get. But from our experience, you do get a burst of sales all at once there at the beginning. And so you get that instant money and royalties. I mean, obviously with Kindle and with CreateSpace, it's, it is delayed, or with whatever, publisher you have. I mean, you won't get the royalties right away, but you will start getting those book sales so that you can get those royalties. And then you can use those royalties for ongoing book marketing, or whatever else you want to use it for. If you have a budget that you have set and you want to use that money towards that, you can, once you have those book sales. Another reason to do a book launch is to reach bestseller status. What bestseller status is on Amazon, they have their bestseller rankings. And there's different categories that you can get ranked in. And they do this, they update these lists hourly. Sometimes when you're watching online, it seems like they're doing it slower than that, and they might on certain days. But typically they say that they update these hourly. But when you are selling books, they look at how many books you've sold in that period of time. So if you sell 100 books all at once on one day, or 300 books, or 500 books, or how many you sell on your book launch day, that is all going to go towards giving you a bestseller status. And so it is one of the quickest ways to your book reaching that best-selling status. And then once you hit like the top 100 for your category, your book will have that title of best-selling book for as long as it's published. And so that is something that you can share on social media. You can use in your bio that you're a best-selling author, or that book is a best-selling book. And sometimes your book even gets to #1 best-selling status. So that is something you can use in your marketing efforts as well. The third reason is very obvious. You want to let people know about your book. And, I think sometimes, especially beginning authors, it's like, okay, if I publish my book, I build it, then they will come. However, you really have to let people know. You have to let people know that your book is out there, and a great way to do that is through a book launch. So now that we've covered just a few whys of why even consider a book launch, now we're going to look at 4 successful book launch strategies. And these are strategies that we have found all successful book launches have in common, so we're going to go through these with you, and obviously this is not a comprehensive list. There's probably many other things that you could add to this list, but these were the 4 common denominators that we have found with our own book launches. And number 1 is to plan the details. I say this over and over again, but if you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. And it is hard, sometimes for our creative brains, and, in our schedules, a lot of authors are doing this on the side. It's not your full-time income, so you're doing this in addition to working and raising a family, and so it can be very overwhelming. However, in order to have a successful book launch, the first step is to plan the details. And so I'm going to go over what some of those details are. The first strategy of, just with planning the details is your book pricing. So, what will you price your book, at? I mean, that is a huge question that we get all the time. What is the best, ebook price, or what is, where should I price my book, and how do I decide that? And that is, could be an entire presentation in and of itself that we could go into. But, some authors, what they decide to do is they'll set their book at a certain price, and then they'll actually lower it for the launch. So one of the strategies that you could use for your book launch, for instance, is to do a 99-cent launch for your ebook. So let's say your ebook is normally $2.99, $3.99, $5.99, whatever price you decide to set it at. For the launch, you may choose to lower it to 99 cents. Well, why do that? Well, Heather and I did this for our book, Indie Author Book Marketing Success. And the book normally sells for $2.99, but during the launch, we lowered it to 99 cents. They've shown over and over and over again, 99 cents is that impulse buy. And so it really lowers the barrier for people to buy. So if they're deliberating, do I really want this book or not, even $2.99, $3.99 sometimes can make someone stop and think, do I want to buy this book? Whereas 99 cents is that impulse buy. Most people are willing to, it's $1, less than $1. So it's a great way to, get some instant sales, get some, bestseller status, sell a lot of books in a short period of time. You're obviously not going to make as much royalty, especially on Kindle. When you're at 99 cents, your book royalties are only 35%, whereas if you price your book at $2.99, your book royalties are at 70%. So you have to weigh the options. If you really want to go for the royalties and make more money, then you'll probably want to keep your book at a little higher price. But for these 99-cent book launches, you can rise to the top of your categories very quickly. In fact, for our Indie Author Book Marketing Success book launch, that book became a #1 bestseller before the first day was even up. It was within hours. It became a #1 bestseller in its categories. It also became a #1 bestseller on the Amazon UK site, so it was a #1 international bestseller as well. So that's something, too, you want to look at during your book launches. You want to keep an eye on where is your book on some of these other sites, because that's where you could also, get that international bestseller status. Other people decide to actually lower their price to free during the book launch. So, they use the KDP Select program, which there's a lot of controversy over it. It changes all the time. There's some changes going on right now with the KDP Select program and the effectiveness of it. But some authors still choose to do that. Maybe they launch it with a free day. You can do up to 5 free days every 90 days if your book is enrolled in the KDP Select program. And we also did this type of a launch with our recent book, the Author Publicity Pack. And it worked really well for us as well. We're able to, generate reviews, able to generate exposure, and that book is still on the bestseller list for its categories and still selling fairly well since that free book launch. So the book pricing is the first thing that you want to plan out. The next thing is prizes and bonus gifts. We all love prizes, right? Getting prizes and gifts. And one of the most well-known strategies is the bestseller book launches, where you give a bunch of different, gifts for buying the book on that day. Those are starting to lose some of their effectiveness because it has been done so much. And unless your gifts are very targeted to your readers or very valuable, that may or may not be the best strategy. But one thing that Heather and I have found is that when you combine bonus gifts and then the chance to win additional prizes, that can be a very effective way to launch a book. So what we will do is we'll sometimes have bonus gifts when you buy the book that day. Then we also set up a Rafflecopter giveaway. Rafflecopter is great. It's a free tool that anyone can use, and you can set it up to do a giveaway. You can do an Amazon gift card. Those go over really well with readers. You can do something that is appropriate for your audience. So a lot of times when we do marketing book or publishing book launches, we will offer some of our products as prizes that, they're very valuable to the authors that we're reaching, and that can also help it go viral. But, you can have all kinds of different bonuses and gifts that you offer during your launch. The next point was just the giveaways and contests, and I've also already kind of talked about this, where, you combine those bonus gifts with a giveaway or a contest. And one of the things with Rafflecopter is you can put anything you want in there, and then people can enter the giveaway by doing that task. So they can like your Facebook page, they can follow you on Twitter, tweet something, post something on Pinterest, post something on Google+, sign up for your newsletter. So not only can you get new followers, more exposure by, just them tweeting about it and all of that, but your book launch can go viral, because if you have a valuable prize that they really want or a valuable giveaway, then they'll be motivated to do those things. And so that way has been one of the keys to the success of a couple of our recent book launches, is the way that it has just gone viral by people sharing through that Rafflecopter giveaway. So that's another thing to consider for your book launch. The fourth thing, detail you want to consider and plan out for your book launch is your date, your launch date. And, if you are doing this part-time on the side and this is your first book launch, make sure that you plan plenty of time, because there are so many details that go into this. And, if you have done several book launches like we have done, Heather and I both do this full time. And so if you have more time to devote to it and you're more familiar with the process and the technology and setting everything up, then you can do it quicker. And, however, we recommend planning at least 2 months in advance of your book launch to start getting all the details in place. The more time you give yourself, the more you will actually enjoy your launch instead of stressing over the details. We have enough stress in our lives with everything else going on that if you can minimize that stress by giving yourself enough time to plan, that's the best way to go. You may also want to consider your launch date around a certain time of the year. So if your book is a weight loss book, you may want to consider doing a big launch around the New Year resolution time so that you gather that momentum of people wanting to lose weight at the beginning of the year. If you have a book for women or for moms, like I have just released a book for women, and so I'm considering doing a big launch on Mother's Day weekend or leading up to Mother's Day weekend. Those are some things you can also think about. If there are key times of the year where your book would fit really well, you may want to consider doing that as well. You also may want to consider which days of the week work best for your target audience. So if your target audience is, just really busy and not even online on the weekends or, whatever, then, consider doing it during the week. And vice versa. If your target audience is mostly online on the weekends, or you find that that's when you get the most interaction with them on your social media and that sort of thing, you may want to consider that. One of the things that I have noticed with when I have done KDP Select free promotions is it seems to have the best impact Wednesdays and Thursdays for me. I write nonfiction books, a lot of faith-based books, publishing, marketing books, but those have been the days that have been most successful. You don't know until you do it. Marketing is all about tracking to your results and saying, okay, my target audience might be completely different than yours. They also say that book sales tend to be greatest on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if you do your book launch leading up to those days, then once it's higher up into the bestseller list, it's gained visibility, then you may end up getting more sales over the weekend. So, there are many, many different thoughts on this, and the best advice I can give you is to track your results and see what seems to work best for your target audience as well. But you want to set your date and get your launch dates ready. The next detail that you'll need to work out as you're planning your launch is to get your book launch page ready. This is going to be the advertising hub for your book launch. This is going to be the page that you direct everyone to, that you list your giveaways, your Rafflecopter widget, or that you have your sign up for the free gifts. This is going to be your hub. So what we would recommend is that you list everything out on your launch page and try to give it a creative title. Come up with something that draws in your readers. Something else that I have done is I'll make sure I'll say, book launch 2 days only, or, get $100 worth of prizes when you buy our book this day, or, something that really lets them know it's time sensitive. It's only going to be available for a short time, so they need to act now. And then you'll want to list out. You want to have a picture of your book cover, your book, description possibly. I like to put reviews or endorsements on that page so that there's some credibility and some social proof of people that have already read the book and enjoyed it or benefited from it. And list what you're giving away that day, if it's gifts to everyone who buys, or if it's, if you're doing a contest or giveaway of some sort. You'll want to make sure that you have that page set up. And what I did when I did my first book launch, major book launch, is I just went online and I searched on Google for book launches, and I looked at a bunch of different people's pages. A lot of times people will leave their book launch page up after the book launch. And so you can look and see how other people did it, get ideas, and I got a lot of great ideas by doing that. The other thing that I continue to do is I watch. I'm connected with a lot of authors. I watch how other authors do it, and I get ideas and I make notes and for future launches as well. So that's something that I would recommend for you as well. And so now that we have talked about some of the details, and I know some of those details can be overwhelming, but like I said, take one step at a time and give yourself plenty of time. Well, now Heather is going to talk about the next strategy for successful book launches.
The next strategy for successful book launches is just preparing for promotion. Without promoting your launch, no one will hear about it. So it's really important to make sure that you promote the book launch. But also it's important to prepare for that promotion in advance. Trying to put it all together the day of the launch or as needed can really stress you out. So if you have it all prepared before the launch, you can pre-schedule a lot of it and free up your time during the launch itself, and that way you're not tied to your computer the entire time that you go through your book launch. Some of the promotional activities that you'll want to consider are press releases, which are a great way to announce your book. You can distribute them on free or paid press release distribution sites, and or add them to your media room on your website so that your regular fans can come and see exactly what you're presenting during your launch. Whichever way you go, press releases are a great way to put all the information about your launch together to let the public know about your book. If you have a sizable following, sending out emails is probably the #1 way to increase the effectiveness of your book launch. We recommend drafting at least 2 emails, one to announce the launch itself, and you can put all the details in there about your giveaway, any prizes that you're doing, just anything that you can think of that kind of like almost like a summary of your launch page in one email to send out. And then later during the launch, you recommend sending one out to remind them that it's almost over. And those emails, we have gotten thank you notes about those. We've just seen great sales responses from all the emails that we've sent out about book launches. And then after that, you also want to create blog posts about your book. Even though you've got your launch page, you still want to do a blog post on your regular blog because that will go into your following's feed, their blog feed that they follow, and visitors to your blog will be able to see that. And you can also draft up blog posts for other blogs in your niche to announce your launch, which brings us to special events. Special events are events that are centered around your launch to help you reach more people. So whether it's a blog tour or an online conference like this one, or something completely different, these can be great ways to increase your book's exposure. Shelley did this for her book, Forgiveness Formula, and just had really amazing results. She did an online conference and had several guest speakers, and it just really built up anticipation for her book launch, which she launched a week later. Online events could include teleseminars, webinars, blog tours, or online conferences, but you can also do physical or offline events, such as attending a regular conference, going to a book fair, or doing a book signing or reading. I know several traditionally published authors have done this, where they've launched their book while they're at a speaking engagement. So, you can only get the book if you go to that conference. And the next thing to prepare for promotion is promotion for social media. Pre-writing tweets, Facebook posts, and things like that, even putting together launch graphics to share on Facebook and Pinterest can really help your launch go viral. You can create events on Goodreads and Facebook to build up buzz about your launch, and you might even consider doing a YouTube video to announce the book or the launch. And those are all great ways to make sure that you are prepared for the promotion of your launch. And I know I went through that really quickly, but I can't tell you how important it is to actually get all the promotion prepared and scheduled in advance. It just really does make or break your launch. And now Shelley is going to cover the next step.
Yeah, so prepare for promotion. And like Heather said, that is one huge key. And Heather is so good at this. We work together on a lot of these, but of just getting those tweets written. And with the tweets, we recommend, using appropriate hashtags for your audience, getting a Facebook post, written, and that would be different than a tweet because it can be a little longer. It's a little more conversational, and it can also be used on Google+, LinkedIn, getting a graphic. For Pinterest, you can also put those graphics on Facebook. But if you have all of those things done ahead of time, it really takes the stress off on the day of the launch, doesn't it, Heather?
It really does. I mean, the times that I've waited till last minute, it's just made for a really long, stressful day. And having it ready in advance, you can get it out to other people to help you share. And it takes such a burden off of you to have the stuff ready in advance.
Yes, and Devorah is great at doing blog tours and teleseminars and things as well for her book launches. I've seen her doing those things, but many times Heather and I will do several different strategies together for a book launch, and it makes it unique, because everyone's doing different things, but you want to try to stand out. You want to try to be different or unique or creative with your target audience. And so I just encourage you to really think about your target audience, really sit down and write out some ideas of what you think will draw them in. What do you think will motivate them to buy your book that day or to share or that sort of thing? And don't be afraid to combine some of these ideas together, too, because that's, I believe, what has been some of our success is just being creative with the process. So the next thing we're going to talk about is enlisting help. And, besides having paid help and, having like a virtual assistant or somebody that you're paying, we all can't afford that at this point. But sometimes what you can do is you can actually form a launch team. And, we have seen countless authors do this, and they almost always succeed because they have a group of people that already know, like, and trust them. Those are the keys to marketing, is finding people and developing a relationship with people to have them know, like, and trust you. So they gather a group of people who are willing to help promote them and help promote their book during their launch. They might get a free copy of the book or something else, some other token of appreciation, or maybe they are put into a drawing for a gift card or given some incentive, to be part of it. Sometimes if you have, a really loyal following, there will be people that will, or if people really believe in your mission or the topic of your book, you may be able to find volunteers who are willing to do it just because they believe in what you're doing or they love your books. But a lot of times it's good to offer some sort of incentive to your launch team. And, these are people that will help to share about your book, and it will really help the book to reach more people. One particular book launch team that I was a part of, they created a special Facebook group just for the launch team. And then they posted things on there. They shared, hey, here's a new graphic that if you could share this on Pinterest, here's, something. And they would talk about the book launch in that Facebook group. That can be good or it can be bad. Facebook groups are wonderful for people, who really use Facebook and are on there a lot. I personally, with certain Facebook groups, will turn off the notifications. So for this particular launch team, I kind of forgot about it because I turned off the notifications because they kept coming so often that, if they would have simply sent out a few, like 1 or 2 emails as reminders, that would have been much more effective for me. So you may want to consider doing both. Maybe having an email list where you send out infrequent updates to your launch team, and then maybe do a Facebook group as well for those people that prefer that. But for some people, they just won't get all the updates through the Facebook group. Another thing, to consider with enlisting help to get your book ready for launch day is to find book reviewers. And this, again, could be an entire presentation. And I've learned so much in the years that I've been publishing books about getting reviews. And it really is important. Some authors don't spend any time trying to get reviews. They just let them all come organically. And you have to decide what will be best for you. But there's many promotional sites that will not even consider promoting your book until you have 10 reviews. There are some very, very good promotional sites that, will really, get you a lot of exposure and even sales that, you need those 10 reviews. So what we recommend is making your initial goal to get 10 reviews before the book launch. Now, I would not cancel your book launch if you only have 5 reviews or if you only have 9 reviews. I wouldn't, base it on that, but I would still make that your goal. In order to get that goal, many times you will need to give out twice as many, books and recruit twice as many book reviewers as the number of reviews that you would like. One of my recent books, I had a list of people that said they would review the book, 10 people. Well, 8 of those posted their review. 2 of them didn't. So if I had only asked those 10 people to post reviews, then I would have been at 8 instead of 10. And, you may get the place where all 10 post reviews for you, but, try to aim for more than that. I would just suggest try to find 20 people. And then surely, out of those 20, 10 would post for you. One thing that you do need to know is that Amazon has some specific guidelines for reviews. You are able to give a free copy of the book in exchange for the review. But that's all you are able to give. And, I see authors kind of riding that line all the time where, they'll say, we'll give you this bonus gift if you post a review, or this or that. Well, they may or may not be getting away with it. But if Amazon, sees them doing that and finds out that they are doing that, that does go against Amazon's terms of service. And, that could cause issues for that author with their Amazon account. So, personally, I don't take any of those risks. I choose to do things according to Amazon's terms of service because now I'm earning my income through this. I don't want to jeopardize my account in any way. So, you are able to give a free copy of the book, but please note if your book is in the KDP Select program, you will have to purchase a gift copy for that person or purchase a copy so that, you are not violating the KDP Select guidelines, which say that you're not allowed to have that digital copy elsewhere. But also, the FTC guidelines state that if somebody gets a copy of the book for free in exchange for a review, they need to note that. I now have a template that I set up for each one of my books, and it's an email that I send to reviewers. And in that email, I say, please note, due to Amazon's terms of service and FTC guidelines, you will need to include somewhere in your review that I received a free copy of this book in exchange for my honest review. A lot of authors don't do this, but again, I have chosen to, to follow those guidelines, and I encourage you to as well, just to make sure you're legally covered if there would be any issues with that. But, who do you get for book reviewers? That's the big question. You can, obviously, you could start with family and friends. Those are people that you can start with, but you want to be a little bit cautious about that, because if they say, oh, my nephew so-and-so wrote the best book and I loved it, then people would be like, oh, that is, or if they know it's your mom or it's your sister-in-law. So, if you're able, to develop relationships with your readers and find readers that are willing to post reviews for you, that is the best way to go. And again, I'm going to have a specific training for this that I will be launching later this year about book reviews that will give you all those details. The next place that you can enlist help is for blog tour hosts or event speakers. So Heather talked about that, considering setting up a blog tour as part of your book launch, or coordinating an event. So if you decide to do those things, you will need to find blog tour hosts and or event speakers. And these are people who are already benefiting from your launch and dedicated to it. Once you find those people, ask them to help promote it. Ask them if they'll post some, Facebook posts or tweets and things like that, and help you promote the conference, the blog tour, and or your book launch, in addition to what you're already doing with them in connection with your launch. And what we have found is everyone is busy. Everyone has many, many things on their to-do list. And I find that authors usually feel overwhelmed, or, blog tour or bloggers, it's just there's a constant flux of things that we're always having on our to-do list. So if you pre-write, some promotional materials like tweets and the posts like Heather was talking about, you can even write up a sample blog post, to promote for you. And, if you write that up and you offer it to them, yeah, they can personalize it. We recommend that. But if they don't have time to personalize it or to write something on their own, they can just simply copy and paste, and within a couple minutes, they can schedule those things or post those things for you, and it makes your launch more successful, and, it makes them more interested in helping you. So I'm going to go ahead now and turn it over to Heather to talk about the next strategy to execute your launch efficiently.
The next strategy is to execute your launch efficiently. And that might sound kind of simple. I mean, you've already planned your launch. If you've gotten that far, you've got the planning done, and both for the promotion and just for the launch itself, and that's a big part in the first step. But it's not the end of the game. You have to track the progress of your launch, which is the next step. This is the sales, the rankings, and I like to track all of my promotional material. If you've got a blog post over on so-and-so's blog, I like to keep a link to that just so I have it, so I know where I've been, what I've done, if you're paying for paid advertising, keep track of where all of your promotional material is. Have you posted your tweets to Twitter? Have you posted a graphic on Pinterest? Just track all of that information. That'll help you to see how effective your marketing is, but also will help you remember. I mean, doing a launch is a lot of work. And sometimes I forget, have I posted there yet? And having that tracked in like a spreadsheet or something will help me remember, exactly where all of my promotional material has been posted and where I still need to go. It also helps to know when I posted what, so that I can space out my marketing a little bit. And it just overall helps you to keep yourself organized and see what activities did the most to help your book sales. It's also nice, as long as you're tracking your progress, to see when you hit number 1, you can get a screenshot of that for your records. I like those. And then another part of executing your launch efficiently is to create an ongoing marketing plan for after your launch. While you're doing your launch, be thinking ahead of, how are you going to market this tomorrow? You want to keep your sales trickling in year-round if you want to ever live up to being a full-time author. You need to continue marketing your book. It's not do your launch and you're done. That'll help you boost your rankings and get some continued sales, but you really have to continue marketing your book. So an efficiently executed book launch will fade into a continual marketing plan. I think Shelley is going to cover the action steps now, so I'll turn it over to her.
Yes, and I just wanted to mention that about your point about tracking your progress. There have been certain launches that I track more details than others, but I always appreciate when I track those details because I can look back, and it is so easy for me to forget several months later, like, how many books did I sell during those 2 days, and how many Twitter followers did I get because of that Rafflecopter contest, or, things like that. So sometimes I even, if I'm doing like a Rafflecopter giveaway where I'm asking people to follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, or something like that, I'll actually also track my followers before and after. So then I can also see how many followers I gained as a result of that marketing strategy. But some of those things that I have kept track, and I've kept the screenshots, are then case studies that I can use later. And honestly, I personally would not remember all those things if I had not written them down. And it also helps me know, like, oh, yeah, that was really successful when I did that. You can also, make sure to write down how many reviews you have before and after a launch. Maybe you get some extra reviews from that. There's so many things that you can track, and that's, a personal decision. But that is so important. And also, like Heather said, to create an ongoing marketing plan. I've heard that, book marketing comes in waves. So you have to, you realize there's peaks and there's valleys. And, many authors want to stay on that peak because you're selling books. But just know that with a peak usually comes a little bit of a dip, a little bit of a valley. And if you do no more marketing, it will probably continue to dip. I've had a couple books that maintain their rankings on their own just because Amazon is promoting it as an also bought and a this and a that, but that's very rare. Most of the time, you have to continue doing marketing to see that next wave, that next surge where you get more sales again, higher rankings again, and that takes action. So that's what we're going to talk about this next, these final action steps with book launches. We want you to be strategic and take action from this material that we've shared with you. And that's the most important part of your book launch, is that you are strategic. You have a strategy. You're not just randomly doing this and that and that and this, but you actually have a plan and a strategy. So we encourage you not just to go with the flow, but to take the time necessary to set up all the components in your launch. And so just to review, here are the 4 action steps to a successful book launch. The first one we talked about was planning the details. And this is where you set the foundation for your marketing promotion. You're going to be looking at all the different details, the price of your book, the date, how you're going to set it up, and plan that out. Everyone works differently. Some people like spreadsheets. Some people like writing in a journal or a notebook. Some people like even having like a dry erase board or something in their office that they can write things out. Whatever you do, write it out. Whatever works best for you, if it's Microsoft Word or Excel or pen and paper or a chalkboard or dry erase board, or plan out those details. The second step that we talked about was creating that promotional material. And if you are brand new to marketing, then this may take some time to really learn the art of writing tweets or writing Facebook posts, but you never learn until you start doing it. Heather, wouldn't you agree that you feel like you've gotten better at writing tweets the more you've done it?
Oh my goodness, yes. I wouldn't have ever imagined being able to do a best-selling book launch when I first started. It would have never, I didn't know how to write a press release. I didn't know how to write tweets. It's all a learning experience, and each time that you do it, you just get better, and you know more, and you learn which ones are more effective than others.
Yeah, and it's so true that you learn, you can get better, just by doing it. Now, another thing that you can do, again, I always like to say success, leaves clues. So if you find a successful author in your niche that is selling books, that is doing successful launches, successful marketing, follow them on Twitter. Look at what they're tweeting, and don't copy them, but you can use the same formula that they use. If they're sharing like a little snippet of a review, and then you can look at what hashtags they're using. You can look at what they're posting on Facebook and how they're kind of wording it. And so success leaves clues. So one of the ways I have learned how to create some of these promotional materials is by watching other successful people and modeling after them, not copying, but modeling after what they are doing.
Absolutely. And so, I want to throw in there real quick is that one of the best ways to learn how to do a book launch is to volunteer to be on someone else's launch team. I'm on someone else's launch team right now, and it's just the things that they're doing that I've never even thought of are insane. I mean, every time you help someone else, you're learning from their success, and that's just a really great way to learn and to follow their success clues.
Exactly. And it is so true that, many times, you help other people, but then it helps you as well. And there is such a learning curve, but as you do it, as you watch other people, like Heather said, that's a brilliant idea. Volunteer for someone's book launch before you do your own, their book launch team. There's many ways to learn. And if you feel very overwhelmed, just start with one small thing. You don't have to do everything. Just start with one component of the book launch and then build from there. The third thing to take action with is enlisting help. Now, this is where you enlist help for your book launch team, for your reviewers, the people that are your blog tour hosts, event planner hosts, and where you're enlisting that help. And you can get creative. There are different ways that we have enlisted help in some of our book launches. One of my recent launches for one of my faith-based books is I have a website where I promote Christian books, and so there's advertising on there. Well, I offered free advertising to Christian authors that would help post about my book launch. And so there was an incentive for them to do that. Now, you may not have that ability to do that exact thing, but, brainstorm ways that you can enlist help and the incentives you can give, and make it a win-win-win. So it's a win situation for you, it's a win situation for the person helping you, and it's a win situation for the reader. Now, if they feel like you are getting all the benefits and they are getting none, then it's not as fun. It's not as, contagious and viral. But if everyone wins from the book launch, then everyone is going to be more willing to help share and do their part. And so really brainstorm that part of how to enlist the help. And then the last step of taking action is to execute it efficiently. And this is where you track you plan your launch, you track your progress, and then create an ongoing marketing plan. And so, we are so excited, to see you take action for your book launch. And, feel free to contact us through our website, our Facebook page, and let us know about your book launch and when you're having it. If this is something that you would like additional resources, details, templates, and help with, we have a complete book launch training system and program that we have put together with experience that we've had to help you. So you can do everything that we're talking about today on your own. You can do this. You can set it up. And, that's how I started. I did the work. However, if somebody would have had a product like this, that I could have had copy and paste templates for emails, just training videos, case studies, checklists, reports, and all of this, ready for me, someone, that has had successful book launches themselves, I would have jumped at the opportunity because it would have saved me so much time. Ever since I did my #1 book, best-selling book launch for my book, Forgiveness Formula, I've been wanting to do this product. And, but I think in a way it's best that it was delayed until now, because now I have over a year of experience in launching books. And I published over 20 books last year alone. That's a lot of books. And I was doing it because I was working full-time. But I had a lot of practice at doing book launches. I did book launches in many different ways, and Heather and I did them in many different ways. And so now we want to share this with you. So we're excited about this. This is optional. It's not something you have to get, but we would love to help you if you're interested. And you can get that more information for that, or you can check out that product at digitalpublishingcafe.com/launch. And so, Devorah, we just want to thank you so much for having us and allowing us to share just a little bit of our experience and what we have learned. We could go into even so much more detail, but thank you so much for allowing us to come and share today.
You are both so welcome. You gave us a wealth of information, and we've been colleagues in the book marketing arena for many years now, and I'm impressed with everything you produce, Shelley, and the work that you and Heather are doing together. Heather, you're just amazing in your own right, and it's very exciting how you're able to help authors by sharing what you do. I know your programs they always over-deliver. They're always priced so reasonably. And again, if people would like to check out the details so that you can take your own book on a successful book launch, go to www.digitalpublishingcafe.com/launch. So Heather and Shelley, before we sign off, do you have anything else you'd like to share with us?
I think that pretty much covers it. I do want to mention that the templates and stuff included in our package are the ones that we still use every time we do a book launch. I mean, these aren't just things that we recommend. These are actually our templates that we use for our emails, and all the promotional material it takes forever to put together, all of that is included in this, and it's what we actually use, which I think is what makes this product the best.
Well, I can't wait to get the program myself, because I've seen what you've done with book launches. I've seen dozens and dozens, if not hundreds, of reviews on each of your books, and the way that you take them to bestseller status, and the community that you build around your books. And so I'm very excited for our authors to have a templated system that they can just plug their book into. So thank you so much for creating this.
Yes, and thank you, Devorah. Heather and I are just glad to be part of your program. You always do such a great job and provide so much value to authors. And so we just really appreciate you and really thank you for this opportunity.
Absolutely. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you. And thank you, everyone, for joining us for today's workshop. Now, to make the most of this opportunity, be sure to schedule time in your calendar to take action on what you've learned today. Also, be sure to head over to our private group on Facebook where you can connect, share ideas, and ask questions of other attendees and workshop leaders. So until next time, here's to your ebook publishing success.